You know that feeling when you have way too many tabs open in your brain? Like you're trying to remember a grocery list, you're thinking about a work email, and you're trying to listen to someone talking all at the same time? It can feel, well, pretty chaotic. Today, we're going to get all that clutter organized. We are diving into the absolutely brilliant system your brain uses to manage all that information in real time. So, here's our game plan. First, we'll introduce this idea of a mental desktop. Then, we're going to meet the management team that runs the whole show. After that, we'll peek under the hood to see how it all works, catch it in action in our daily lives, and finally, really understand why it's the absolute key to all learning. Sound good? Let's get started. All right, first up, let's really wrap our heads around the core idea that's going to guide us through this whole thing, your brain's very own mental desktop. This right here is the key metaphor. Just think about the desk you might have in front of you. Your mind has a space just like that for everything you're actively working on right now. This isn't for long-term storage. That's more like a filing cabinet. This is for the immediate, on-the-fly processing of information. So what's actually happening on this desktop? Well, it's not just some passive holding area. It's a super active workbench. It's where you take a new piece of information, you turn it over, you play with it, and you connect it to stuff you already know. I mean, think about it. Following a conversation, solving a math problem in your head, or figuring out a new recipe. That is all your working memory. And it's the engine for all your reasoning. Okay, so if we have this mental desktop, who's in charge, right? Who decides what gets your attention and what gets put away for later? Well, it's time to meet the brain's management team, a set of skills we call your executive functions. You can basically think of executive functions as the CEO of your mind. They're these super high-level skills that help you get things done. Everything from planning your day to fighting the impulse to check your phone for the 10th time. They are, quite literally, the directors of your own cognitive world. And this management team has 3 core skills that you are using every single second. First, our star for today, working memory. That's all about holding and using information. Second is inhibitory control. Think of this as your brain's brakes, the thing that helps you resist distractions. And third, you've got cognitive flexibility, which lets you switch gears and adapt your thinking on the fly. These 3 are constantly working together. Okay, so we've met the managers. Now let's zoom in even closer on the desktop itself and see what tools are actually on it. What are the components that make this incredible system tick? So one of the most popular ways to understand this is called Baddeley's model. You've got the central executive. That's the director. It's the boss. It doesn't hold information itself, but it tells the other systems what to do. Then there's the phonological loop. This is like that little voice in your head, your own personal auditory notepad for, say, repeating a phone number. And finally, the visuospatial sketchpad, which is your mind's eye, your visual sketchpad for picturing a map or remembering where you put your T's. Now, there isn't just one way to think about this. Another model from a guy named Barkley looks less at the type of information, verbal versus visual, and more at how we use it. He really emphasizes our ability to talk to ourselves internally to guide our actions, and our ability to literally picture the future to make plans. It's not about one being right and the other being wrong. They're just different ways of looking at the same amazing process. Okay, so we've got the desktop, we've got the management team, but this isn't just some abstract theory. This is the system you are using right now. So let's see it in action. Let's explore where this mental desktop shows up in your day-to-day life. In any kind of learning environment, it is absolutely everywhere. When a teacher gives you a multi-step math problem, you have to hold all the numbers and the steps in your head. That's your working memory. Or when you read a really long sentence, you have to hold the beginning of it in your mind to make sense of the end. It's just fundamental. And this is just a perfect example of its temporary nature, right? Someone tells you a phone number. You hold it in that phonological loop, repeating it over and over, just long enough to type it into your phone. But the second you're done, poof, that information is just gone from your mental desktop because its job is done. It's not needed anymore. But check this out. It goes even deeper. Your working memory is also critical for managing your emotions. Feeling upset about something, you can consciously pull a positive memory onto your desktop or use your internal voice to talk yourself through the situation and calm down. This is a seriously advanced executive function, using your mental workspace to actually manage your emotional state. So we've seen what it is, we've seen how it works. In this last section, let's really talk about why this is one of the most important cognitive systems you have, period. See, this system isn't something you're just born with fully formed. The very first signs show up around 7 months old, with something called object permanence. That's when a baby finally gets that when you hide a toy, it still exists. From there, it gets so much stronger through childhood, building the foundation for school, and in adulthood, it's absolutely essential for complex problem solving and emotional maturity. It literally grows with you. So here's the crucial point. Your mental desktop has a finite amount of space. You can only juggle so many things at once. But, and this is the really exciting part, it's trainable. Just like a muscle, you can strengthen your working memory with different strategies, like chunking information into smaller groups, actively getting rid of distractions, or even doing certain brain training exercises. If you take just one thing away from all of this, let it be this right here. Working memory is the critical link. It takes all the raw data coming in from your senses, it holds onto it, plays with it, and connects it to your long-term knowledge. Without that bridge, new information would just pass right through you without ever becoming real learning. So now that you know about this powerful mental workspace, this limited but totally trainable desktop in your mind, it leaves us with a pretty interesting question. How will you organize yours to keep it focused, efficient, and ready for your next big idea?